Hi. In a recent video, I told you a little bit about Wisdom Rising, a new class that's going to start in a few weeks from now. And today I want to tell you a little bit more about it so you can see if it's right for you. The class is called Wisdom Rising, and a subtext for it would be walking through the 9 gates of wisdom. It's a big mouthful there. So I want to say a little bit about wisdom and what it is, maybe so we can compare it to information, as to something that we gather, knowledge, which we accumulate from study and from experience. But wisdom is something that we simply recognize. We recognize it in others. We would like to recognize it in ourselves. We hope and assume that at some point along our journey, we will recognize it, but we're not sure exactly how we will get that or get there. One of the paths to get there is through experience. It's the most common way. Life experience. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from others' mistakes. We learn from wonderful experiences. And we gather all this together and we assume that at a certain point, we will be able to call that wisdom. But it doesn't have to be that way. And when we think about wisdom, we kind of think of it as associated with old age. You know, we have this picture in our mind of an old wise man or woman, and maybe it doesn't have to be that way. So the way it works, as we are born into this world, we are born from the center, from the inner journey, and from there we begin to make our way out into the world, out of the womb, out into the world. And that is the path of discovery, and it's a path of moving from one or oneness to many. So many friends, many interests, many ideas, and all of that is path of accumulation. So we're moving out into the world, accumulating information, knowledge, experience, everything else. At a certain point along that path, many of us become seekers. We are now seeking something. What we're really seeking is ourselves, or that part of ourselves, our whole self that began that journey, that centered oneness self. We begin to search for that because now we've moved far enough away from it that we want to remember it, recall it, and be able to tether ourselves to it and to potentially move back to it. But we're still on that path of accumulation because that's what we're used to now. Consciously or unconsciously, we are on that journey. So if you think about us, say, being born from the center of the earth and moving outward, and now we are circling or orbiting the earth, accumulating knowledge, having many birthdays, trips around the sun, lots of experiences. And then at some point, we either tap the door of consciousness or consciousness taps us from the inside. And then we become seekers, searchers. We have awakened to the possibility of returning to oneness and still having this life, being part of this one journey. So at that point, then, we might choose the path toward the center again. Sometimes this happens early in life. Sometimes it happens very late in life. If we're fortunate, we might find it at the midpoint. So there's still lots to discover and enjoy and share and teach. So then the path towards the center is then a little bit, we could say, the path of letting go. If we've accumulated a lot, sometimes we have to let go of some of that. We have to let go of some of the baggage we might have accumulated, maybe belief systems that don't serve us anymore, maybe even knowledge on so many subjects that maybe we want to concentrate on something else. So all of this is still part of the path of becoming. We're on our way, we're seekers, we're searching to become something or to remember something. But as long as we're still searching, seeking, becoming, we may not actually be in the being place. And being is wisdom, and wisdom is being. So wisdom is the activity of being. Just like knowledge and information are activities associated with discovery and learning and experience and the journey that leads outward. So the journey that leads inward is the journey of being. And at that point, we have less urgency to become more. What we want then is to come into being, back to oneness again. And that's where we discover wisdom. So in order to discover it, yes, we have to go through certain different gates. And most of those gates involve either letting go or remembering or bringing forth from the inside where it's been all along. And that's what wisdom rising is about. So on its own, wisdom rises. It arises just like the sun, just like light. It arises on its own. But what we need to do then is create the conditions, the best conditions, so that we can remember, let go, discover, and return to that state of being where wisdom already is. So there it is, waiting for us where we left it when we went on this journey. And maybe, like me, you will think that this is a really good time to reclaim that wisdom. In other videos and times that we have shared, we have looked at the world that we are in right now, the world of accumulation, the human world, and the human world is oftentimes one of suffering. And we suffer because we don't know and we can't remember, and because we make similar mistakes, and we would like to know more and discover more and remember more. Suffering is sometimes just frustration. These times are frustrating. We know they can be different. We know they can be better. We know we can help ourselves and we can help others. So the path to wisdom rising is to simply create the conditions necessary for it, the proper ingredients and the ways to remember. So I'd like to invite you. I'd like to invite you to journey with me to a little bit of letting go and a little bit of remembering and discovery through some exercises and through a little bit of shaking out some patterns and a little bit more. So in this class, there will be some content or sharing about it, very specific, very related to this class, very specific to the 9 gates that I've been talking about. We will have live discussion, and we will also have some recorded videos as well. And for my devoted and faithful friends who have been with me for so many years, and yes, I have heard you for these years, that you miss the channeled messages from Gaia and some of the study, and we will have that as well. I am happy to say that there will be some recorded sharing. We'll have a couple of question and answer segments, and I'd like you to participate in all of that with me. So here's a little bit more information about it, and you can write to me, contact me, and within a few days, if it's not there already, there will be a way to sign up for the class. You don't need to be at every particular session. They will be recorded, and there will be a couple of different Q&A times, so hopefully you will be able to make one of them at least. And there will be direct interaction in as many ways as we can make it happen. So more information again soon and ways to sign up. Okay, see you soon. Bye.